Hit that like button, share this content, let that friend, that neighbor know where to go when it's time to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk NB. Jan, I'm waiting on this press conference, but while the press conference is waiting on us and we waiting on it, just want to be able to get this content out before it get too late. We got things to do, places to go, but the Cowboys, I believe they on CPT time. Cowboys, people time, huh? Come on with it. Yep. As they say, ain't no party like a cowboy party. But what about a Law Nation's groove? From my studios to yours. Toxic Tom says 2 girls, 1 puppy. Whatever you do, don't look up. 2 girls and 1 cup. Y'all let me know if the press conference is live. 5, 4, 3.
Ready? Run from it. Destiny arrives all the same.
Got 10 minutes. Well, I'm gonna give you more than 10 minutes though. It should be a good presser, right? 2.
Oh, look at my African American over here.
Are you shitting me? Are you shitting me?
And 1. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Appreciate everybody for watching. Cowboys got some decisions to make. I'm getting a more likable Jason Garrett out of Brian Schottenheimer. Are you guys torn in between the two, or are you guys with Schottenheimer, Hootenheimer, or any prime timer? You know, how y'all feeling about Schotty? Because John Harbaugh is out there on the streets, and I'm hearing that, you know, the Miami Dolphins are considering trying to bring him in and still keep Mike McDaniels. Maybe Mike McDaniels can be a subservient to what John Harbaugh can do, and I know that's just for what it is. Yes, indeed. Appreciate y'all, man. Thank everybody. Hit them with the shoulder work law. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. I'm waiting for this presser, but while we're waiting, I really appreciate you guys so much for tuning in and being part of this. Let me just snoop around and see if it's on 105.3 The Fan, the flagship station for the nation, without hesitation or deviations. And as we go through this process of eliminations of the quarterback, coaching,
now the Cowboys are in there because of, well,
okay,
you know,
now they still on some My Buddy stuff. Wait a minute, are they talking about?
You saw the season. I guess we have to throw the Stars in there. Great losses for the Stars.
Okay, I'll wait for them. I know they're going to tune in to that. All right. Hey, my guy Jason Garrett about to get him a job, though, at Tennessee, man. Come on with it. 105.3 The Fan, it's on it. Okay, let me tune back to it, you know, because I'm ready. I'm ready to hear what they got to say. That's what I've been waiting all day for, all morning for, is to hear what they got to say about this presser. Coaching staff for what we're going to do. Last night it was revealed to me, and it hit me. It hit me like a sack of bricks, man. And Matt Eberflus was given full reins to bring in all of his people, right? He brought in Overstreet. He brought in Benghazi. Now, White Cotton, that was neither here nor there. So when it was time for players to say, hey, to speak out, to talk about their displeasement of this particular defense, you know what happened? Benghazi was like, yeah, I hear you though, man, but shoot, I'll be right now Uber eating or working at Walmart and them. But I'll run it by coach. And then when the DBs try to complain about, certain things and spitting their mouths out, Overstreet was like, man, shoot, Matt Eberflus was solid. Shoot, I was going to be working at Pick and Save somewhere, man. Shoot. But I'll run it by him. So nobody had no way to vent their frustrations to the boss, because at the end of the day, the subservient guys were pretty much loyal to Matt Eberflus. And it's weird because now that when we tie all of this in together, it makes sense of why certain people just didn't speak out against Matt Eberflus. We didn't hear a single word. If you really think about it, we didn't hear a single word of any of these guys talking about their treatment or their distaste or displeasement, or if that's a word, if their lack of trust with Matt Eberflus, right? Everybody talked in circles outside of Trayvon Diggs, and he got the boot. Eberflus was a tyrant. I think that Eberflus got in here and said, "Oh snap, y'all letting this first-time head coach do this to me? No, y'all gonna do this to me? Sure, I'm gonna show y'all better than I can tell y'all. Yeah, I'm gonna put Kenneth Murray out there. Yeah, I'm gonna go get my guy Sanborn and them, So he really didn't do anything if we really think about it. Jenkins says Eberflus was the scapegoat. Make that make sense, Jenkins. Make that make sense. Yeah. I don't know, man. Eberflus, boy. And that's just for what it is, for all what we can say with all of this. I know injuries is a part of the game, but damn, man. Come on, man.
Seems choppy on how you grade Shoddy's rookie year. I think.
We'll get into
all
one
right,
of these.
so I broke mine into 3 different areas.
I like this topic right here. Grading Mike McCarthy versus Shoddy.
Don't think if Mike McCarthy's here calling the offense, I don't think they win 7 games with that defense. I think they are a 3-win football team.
I don't know that you could say they're a 3-win team with Mike. He's never really shown to be a 3-win coach.
We've literally never seen a defense like this one.
Hush y'all mouth over there. Come on, let me get back to the Cowboys, man. All right, live. They said it's live. If it ain't live, it ain't me. But yeah, I know I saw it flashed on my screen.
But I hear what you're saying.
This is very interesting because it is it's you in a picture. That and that's free, right?
Yes, correct. All 5 of the stops are free.
While you're there, get some groceries.
Make it efficient. Mm-hmm. By the way,
buy some bacon and eggs.
I saw this. Did you see, because of the coaches that
I saw
and the
news
coordinators and whatnot,
splashed across
next year,
my screen
Mark
here.
Davis and the Raiders will be spending about $50 million on coaches that are already fired.
Really?
Yeah, because it goes all the way back to Pierce. And then you've got McDaniels, Gruden apparently still has some money, Pete Carroll, Chip Kelly. So
come on.
Good job, Raiders.
Yeah, I mean,
see, we're not as bad as them.
Do what Jerry does and stick it out with them until their contract's done.
Yeah, or hire a coach that already coached somewhere else and is getting some money from
or
them. Or
hire a coach that actually can do the job.
What?
I'm waiting on it to update over here on
and then
YouTube.
give them the things they need to actually get the job done.
That is a controversial opinion. Speaking of controversial opinions,
there we go.
Did you see that the commissioner of NASCAR finally announced his resignation after 20 years? And it makes...
All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to see, and boom. All right, so we're going to be going over a few things while that's doing that. Let me know when it's live, Cowboy Nation. So, we on... It said 11:30. Hey, Jerry, you late. You on CPT time, man. Cowboys people time. Come on, man. Jerry, you're 30 years late, man. We're going to listen to this.
Oh, my goodness.
Please come home.
What we got?
I got beans and
bologna. Hey.
At JDiz $5. How many UHHS and excuses Jerry nonsense and Catboy give us during this presser? Over. Under 7 for me.
Oh my gosh. All right, injuries is one excuse. Right? We can all use injuries, right? That's a ram in the bush. That's a pocket for you. Michael Parsons, that's another excuse. You can use Michael Parsons as an excuse. Contracts to pie, cheese, my cherry pie. Cherry pies could be the excuse. What's another excuse that they might bring up today? First-time head coach excuse, right? That's always a possibility there. Cap space, they're going to bring up money. They're going to bring up, hey, there's other teams, parity in the league. Over, under, how many times Jerry Jones going to say, hey, we the winningest team since 19 of 96. That's an excuse, right? Other people haven't won it in the last 30 years and 30 seasons too. That's the one that I don't like. You know what I'm saying? Just because such and such didn't do it in 30 years and 30 seasons don't mean that we should be not doing it in 30 years and 30 seasons, because those other teams ain't making $13 billion with a B. Diggs excuse, that's one. Venezuela, war with Venezuela. Hey, as much as, man, as much as people beat up Trump and all of this stuff, hey, that was a real gangster move right there, because, yeah, and I ain't mad at him, I ain't making this a political show, though, by the way.
I ain't mad at you.
This is a soft version of the Cold War, because we're doing a financial war. And the next piece of the pie will be is we can get Greenland to capture them and seize all of their ins and outs there. But, that was a very calculated move as it relates to what this administration, talking politically, did with Venezuela. Said, okay, hey, you going to listen to us. Bet not see not one Russian ship there. Yes, indeed. Y'all want freedom and all of that stuff? Yeah. All right. So it is for what it is. Yeah, the tariff tax, that's a rule. JR Recruiter said, Trump is a buffoon. Hey, man, hey. The Diddy documentary, man, wait till the Jerry documentary come out. That's going to be ESPN, 30 for 30, Jerry documentary. And let me tell you, the ums. Yeah, it doesn't help America. This is from Sanjay. Yeah, I feel you. It's a long strategy, though. And I feel exactly what you're saying, Sanjay. I feel exactly what you're saying. Jerry Epstein's. Jerry, don't let me see you on them tapes, man. Whenever those tapes get released, I'm taking all beef. I feel you. I'm waiting on this one, man. I am too. But while we were waiting, appreciate everybody, man, for y'all support, y'all unbelievable support. There was a thing that we were hearing on the. And I like Mina Kimes. I think Mina Kimes is a real nice lady. But I disagree with her take on some things. And I disagree with the whole Jonathan Gannon thing. We can at least talk some football while we're waiting for them to get it together, hook up the mics and stuff. But let me see if I can pull this
Marcus,
up.
you answer it first. So, Raheem Moore.
I think I got it bigger here. Hold on for me. Pause is necessary. Give me 1 second, man. I'm building the plane as we fly. Appreciate y'all. Boom. Here we go. Got it bigger over here.
Marcus, you answer it first. So, Raheem Morris, Jonathan Gannon, Jim Schwartz. Those are the names that immediately come to my mind.
Now, before we go any further, I think Raheem Morris got like 5 interviews lined up. They trying to get that quota real quickly for him. I don't know if he's going to get immediately in the attention of a head coaching job. I think that they just bringing him in for Rooney Rules purposes. I'm just saying it for what it is, y'all. But out of this list, give me Schwartz, Morris, Flores, and in no particular order, but Schwartz would be my first order, but no particular order for the other brothers.
The Cowboys have two really good defensive tackles, right? And then speedy linebackers. Marcus, which out of those three guys do you think at least best fits at least that starting point with scheme? And then Mina, you after him.
Raheem Morris. I think a lot of it, too, is just his experience in the secondary, Dan. Mina just pointed out how bad those guys are back there. I remember Raheem. Raheem was actually a coach at the Senior Bowl.
Radio Raheem.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers when I was there. So he's been around Money Kiffin. He's been around, and obviously Money was famous for the Tampa too, but coverage is a
man. Money Kiffin, like curse words over here, man. Shoot, Money Kiffin. Whenever somebody mentioned Monty, man, I'm thinking of falling asleep in the press conference. But to be fair to Monty, man, when he was in his youth, boy, he was something to deal with, though.
A big thing for Raheem. Yeah. And if you notice, every place that he's been, defense coordinator-wise or head coach, he's always had a stalwart corner. That's just what he believes in. He's going to go find a guy that can handle one side of the field. So that would be the first thing that comes to my mind with the glaring issues that Dallas has. And then, too, from a scheme standpoint, because we know he was heavily involved. Yeah. Don't forget James Pierce, who they drafted out of Tennessee, had 10.5 sacks as a rookie. So there's development going on as well. There's the ability to coach guys up. So I would like Raheem, even though I love all
radio. All right, so Spears said he would like Raheem and them. I don't mind Morris. Anybody. Now, let me preface my statement because I can't use the anybody, but anybody but again. Because they fool around and give us Mike Nolan. You said anybody but, Eberflus. So Overslow and Sanborn. Wait a minute, DP. As far as our speedy linebackers, you got to put Miroslav Fowl in the picture. Watch whoever be our next defensive coordinator, and if they come from good pedigree, Leofow finna have a breakout year, his third season. Matter of fact, Miroslav gonna have such a great season next year. People gonna be like, "Hey man, sign that man, sign that man."
Yeah, and I did like what I saw from Ezeraku, by the way, year one. I think he has some promise too. I'd be interested in Gannon. I echo Marcus's thoughts on Raheem Morris, but I think Arizona is a defense that during Gannon's tenure did a lot with a little at times.
That's my girl, man, but let me pull it up one more time for y'all, man. I do not want baby Eberflus here, man. Cardinals, let me put the Cardinals in the, what, LS. Come on, baby, come on, man. Come on, Law, spell it right. There you go. Man, we don't want that. I don't want that, man. Can y'all see that? Do you see what I see? I mean, I don't want to live with that. And we could talk about Cardinals and what they did for them, what they didn't do for them. I'm not finna move one trash to the next trash and say, hey, we got better. Instead of the 32nd, we the 31st now. Mina, no. Oh, yeah, man. Come on, man. Mina, no, baby. We love you, though, but no. No.
They're very creative, very unique in terms of how they approach their pressures and their coverages. Whereas Jim Schwartz,
team standpoint, because we know who they have on as well. There's the ability to coach guys up. So I would like Raheem, even though I love all three of those names.
Yeah, and I did like what I saw from Ezeraku, by the way, year one. I think he has some promise too. I'd be interested in Gannon. I echo Marcus's thoughts on Raheem Morris, but I think Arizona is a defense that during Gannon's tenure did a lot with a little at times. They were very creative, very unique in terms of how they approach.
Where's Shea Sharp at? Where's Shea Sharp at when you need him? Jeez, man. Oh, my gosh, man. No. The answer is no to the no. Where's Shea Sharp? I won't find him. Shea Sharp. Yeah, we'll put him up on here somewhere. I gotta build this in anyway. Here we go. I'm gonna build this in right there. Where he at? No. Mina! Look at that right there. No.
Their pressures and their coverages. Whereas Jim Schwartz, amazing, but that defense just asked your guys to play straight up and win, and that's not who Dallas is right now. Like, I do not want these corners as it is playing that much man coverage. So,
hey, that boy, hey, you saw that he slicked. Listen, probably watch how he slide this in, kind of like Eberflus, right? Watch it.
Is right now. Like, I do not want these corners as it is playing that much man coverage. So I think you need to inject some creativity on that side of the ball.
We'll be on.
No way. No way, Mina. No way, Mina. No way. No way. Jose. Yes, indeed. Give me some alcohol to pull down my eyelids again and shut them closed, man. All I ask is for the Cowboys to do their due diligence, man. And I'm not finna have this cap hat fishing. Jonathan Gannon. Go ahead and go ball too, Jonathan. I was like, let me go do some research on him. The boy just missing all of this. You know what I'm saying? There's all of it, just strings and stuff. Like, nah, man. He got that little cap on. He's too young to have all of that just gone, just missing. Ain't got no roof. Shoot. I guess that's what head coaching do to you, man. Gannon gives me a passive-aggressive vibes. This is from Toxic Tom. I feel you. Brian Flores would be the start. Yeah, we need a top 5 defense. Now, to be fair, just a little bit to Gannon. He's been on some good defenses, though. But I don't know whether or not you're going to continue to say that was all him or there was somebody else. But I just feel like, man, I need some more household name-ish and somebody that's not going to be as fickle as that, you know. I'm just saying. I could be 1,000% wrong. Let me see what these guys talking about.
What about 140?
All right, stop pushing.
Why 140?
I don't know.
Okay. Well,
I guess that's the number that came out of my mouth.
Okay, thank you for that. All right, so just in case you wanted to jump in on those crazy betting odds, I wanted to throw them out there for you. Right now, Alec, I know you're not prepared for this, but that's totally fine. Let's do some mini baseball nuggets and see.
Baseball. Here you go, right here. Oh, Lord. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Come on now. Come on. Cowboy, where y'all at, man? Cowboys tripping, man. They got us all waiting here. Well, Jerry, do you got your meds, man? What it is, man? Come on, Jerry. Where y'all at, man? Jonathan. Oh, they want to talk to me. Don't talk to me. No, I don't want to talk to y'all. Let me get out of here. Oops. Yeah, I shouldn't even pull them up. Schwartz, Flores, or the Denver guy. Is that the Lion, Leo? Is it Leo Horde, right? That's his name, right? Leo Horde is his name. They always 20 minutes late, Law. Yeah, CPT, Cowboys, people time, man. God, dog, man. All right, so with that being said, it looked like they're live now, though. Come on with it, man. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning. Good morning.
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 How you doing, man? Morning.
How you doing? Calvin Watkins of the Dallas Morning News. Jerry, just your thoughts on the disappointment of where you are right now with your season.
Well,
that's the one of them.
This
Take
is
a
the
shot.
First time in my life I've ever been disappointed.
More sugar.
Most of the time, I've had more disappointments than I've had highs.
That's 2 shots.
So this certainly is
3 shots.
An example of what can happen to you in this game, football.
4 shots. 4 shots and I'm done.
It has fleeting moments of euphoria. And
5, 6 shots.
And those are made special by having hard times. Specifically, I am disappointed that we
7 shots. There's 7 of us.
And aren't
8
in good shape to be in the playoffs. So that is a disappointment.
What's your message to the fan base in terms of you can get this fixed?
I think I
9 of
to the pluses that we have. I will start off by saying that Brian is one of the reasons for our fans to be excited about our future and his first year. And if there would be
that's 15 O's right now.
A definition of how you
I'm giving up. I'm
in
done.
And your first time as being a
Y'all
head
can count.
coach in the National Football League and have a nice learning experience. I think that you could say that he's experienced things that will, in my mind, make him better qualified to be the head coach in the coming years than he was.
That's the max that volume get right there, y'all.
Last year. So I point to that. I point to Dak. And I think we saw what we can have. I think I saw Dak at the best I've ever seen him this year. And that's saying a lot because he's played some great football around here. But first of all, we had him all year. And so I've seen him. I know I've been criticized that we wasted having him all year. One of the reasons in my mind that we had him all year is I liked the way that Brian put a plan in for our offense that was a combination of addressing success and good offense, along with things that took him out of harm's way in some cases. And so in a lot of cases, specifically, that was thought about, discussed, and planned going forward. Let's do everything we can do to keep him out there and keep him available. And so that worked very good, and you see the results that he had there. I think that some of the coaching that we had in our team was outstanding from the assistant coaches, and he's going to speak to that, I'm sure. But I will tell you, from my perspective, I saw things to get real excited. I want our fans to know. I saw some things to get real excited about the abilities that we have of our coaching. I would like to remind everybody that a fact of life in this NFL is availability, and that can go over into the coaching, because if you have a lot of success, you're replacing coaches. You're replacing them all the time. Detroit lost their 2 coordinators last year. So you have, it's nothing new. The sun's coming up to be sitting each year looking at replacing a coach. The system in the NFL is designed for coaches to have the best chance to move on. And that happens. And if whether you're doing it really good or whether you're doing it really bad, that can happen to you. We've got to do a better job of when we have a change that needs to be made, for if it's our own volition or somebody else, we got to do a better job of picking who's going in there. But Brian, again, will be very involved in that process, as we were last year when we made those changes. And we will do a very intense, complete, focused job of replacing where Flus and any holes that are left here because of Flus's job. I think those things are more positive than negative, and so I see improvement. I like what we've got to build on, the positives of the year where the offense did play well. We've got some young people involved in that offense. We've got some new people involved in the offense. The other thing I will say, and I don't want to get it going that I talk about Parsons a lot. I don't want to get that going. But I've been talking about Herschel Walker for 35 years. And so it wasn't Herschel Walker that we're talking about when we talk about Herschel Walker.
We still talk about Herschel Walker, boy. We in trouble.
We're talking about when we say Micah, we're talking about the action, the trade. So please, let's get our identification of our boundaries set up. Having said that, the very best of what we were trying to get involving the Micah Parsons trade is all out there.
Ain't no Herschel Walker trade, though.
It's all ahead of us. We've got some of it on the field already. We're going to get more of it on the field in the draft. The very best of that trade is out there, not the least of which Stephen will address and can address it better than me. No way in the world could we have ever entertained having a player like Pickens for the future if we had signed and had still had the Parsons trade and hadn't made the trade. We would not have had any flexibility. It was zero chance.
Your ass better sign Pickens there.
Available for that. And for that matter, when we look at what we've done with Quinton, it's very not likely. It's been impossible to have Quinton. So without getting wordy, which is impossible for me, as you know, without getting wordy, the very best part of that trade will come now. It has come, but we can build on it. We will be better, the parts that we got, the Quinton, the parts that we got there. So I look forward to that. That is material. But it's only material if you buy into where we would have been had we not made the trade. And that one you're going to have to take a lot of our word for.
He full of it now. He knows Parsons' name. Poop
Everybody
clown
in here
face.
can add and subtract and just use your imagination, and you can see.
Appreciate you, J.
when you're
Diz.
thinking about some of these things.
You're going to be on the leaderboard in a few, J. Diz.
Clarence Odor, LS Cowboys. My first question, Jerry, you've intimated, outright said that you were the one who hired Matt Eberflus. Moving forward to the next coordinator, will Schottenheimer get to hire his own coordinator?
Damn.
Trump just said it. I'm running.
Venezuela. Look at my African American over here.
Seriously. Shotty had everything to do with hiring Matt Eberflus last time, and that's not done as a negative. It had no way in the world he's here if Shotty didn't want him here.
Oh, my
Let me be real
gosh.
clear about that. And he can tell you in his own words there. No way in the world if Stephen didn't want him here. But I particularly had a party when we got him to have him come in. And I was excited about having the uniqueness of his staff. The idea being you get, there is an advantage to having your proverbial, what kicked and still living to tell about it, having been shot at, hit in the foxhole and come on back and have a go. Okay. That philosophy has not worked several times around here, and y'all have had me advocate it for the last 30 years. I like to have guys that have had hard times, and then they come back and get a chance to redeem it. One of the best things about all of football is you get to redeem yourself both on and off the field. If you're still active in a player, it's a redemption thing. And you've got that, and it will cause a lot of what you've done not satisfactory to be forgotten. Football does that for people, coaches and players. And so I say to our fans, the way we've done it, I'll assure you that the way we've done it in the past, that alone will cause me not to do it that way now. That alone. That's simple.
So Schottenheimer said, "Let me go get Matthew Eberflus."
To do it in the past, there we need to change that. That'll
fire
happen.
Schottenheimer too. There, fire Schottenheimer
making the ultimate calls. We'll make it the same way that we've made all of the calls around here on staff. I wouldn't make a call if Stephen didn't agree with the call. I wouldn't make a call if we're involved with a player and somehow Will wasn't involved in the decision of making the call. I wouldn't do that. And by the way, those guys and me, we take a lot of opinion. If you want to criticize me for anything, it is that maybe I should make a lot of uninformed calls or contribution to the decision calls.
The moon landing is real, y'all.
Consistent since the day I walked through the door here. We'll do it the same way as we hired Flus. We'll do it together and come up with as good as we can.
I was there.
Brian, do you anticipate any more staff changes?
Same day.
Level or any staff changes now that Flus is gone?
Yeah, I mean, we're going through the exit interview process. I just got done with the players. I'll start the staff later this afternoon. And what I would say to that is, we're evaluating everything. This is I shared with you guys last week, right? This is an exciting time because we're getting answers to the test. We're figuring out where we came up short, where I came up short, where I need to be better. And,
no, you didn't know where you came up short at.
Go through the process. I want to sit down and continue to have great conversations with Stephen and Jerry, and but that'll probably take through the next couple of days, and we'll evaluate things after that.
Jerry, actually for all you guys, Todd Archer with ESPN.
Is head coaching experience a must for the new coordinator? And if it isn't, is a first-time coordinator a possibility for y'all to look at as well?
No, yes. Yeah, you ask a good question, and no, yes. No, it's not a requirement, having been a head coach, and yes, it's possible to have a first-time coordinator.
The shortest answer you've ever given.
It's a good answer. That's a good answer.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And Brian, why was there such a disconnect defense as you look at it now?
Yeah, I mean, Todd, when we go back through the year and you look at it, I mean, it was the inconsistency. It was different things every week. And, some of the struggles in the pass game when we were playing zone, and then some of the struggles in the pass game when we were playing man-to-man. And, me, the number one thing that you want to do is stop the run. I thought we actually did that in the latter part of the season. I think where we ultimately came up short was we weren't able to take the ball away. You look back at our shortcomings, and the team's playing this weekend, and I agree with Jerry. I'm sick that we're not playing this weekend. We're good enough to play this weekend. Unfortunately, starting with me, we didn't play good enough in terms of the ball. -9 in the giveaway takeaway ratio. That's terrible. It's terrible. And so we have to protect the football on offense. We did not do that at a high enough level. And quite frankly, we did not get enough turnovers. Why? Turnovers create momentum. There's game-changing plays. And as we go back through the season, we look at it, those are going to be certain things that we'll identify. And that's the process that's kind of already started.
John Michaud, Athletic. Brian, what are you looking for specifically for your next defensive coordinator?
Yeah, I think John, a teacher. I love what Jerry said. We want to cast a wide, net of candidates and find someone that's a great teacher, a great communicator. You guys know me; you're around me a lot. I'm full of energy and love what I do. I think someone that's passionate about football, but the ability to take what is complicated information. What we ask our players to do in all three phases is complicated. We want guys that can say complicated information in a simple manner. And if I say something to you that you don't understand, I need the ability to say it a different way. The same message, but say it a different way, because how you learn might be different than how Nick learns or how Ed learns. And I think that's the starting point for me.
And then for Jerry, what is your offseason plan when it comes to free agency? Is there any plan to be even more aggressive than maybe years past?
Well, I've I think Clarence, everything that I've had happen, misquotes around here have emanated from Clarence. But we can have some fun. I don't want to sound by saying we're going to be active in free agency, then disappoint and say that we weren't. But if we have an opportunity in free agency, and if we have more than one opportunity, we're going to take advantage of the fact that we're in better shape today to play free agency than we thought we might be. And so we're going to use it. We're not saving it in our back pockets to use where our advantages are. So, yeah, I think so. We definitely are going to take advantage of these two number ones. Don't think that we couldn't do some trading here with those two number ones. And so all of the value that you get out of having these extra picks and having some flexibility under the cap, we're going to take advantage of it. And we obviously don't have a mentality that we're dealing with a bad hand at all. I think we had some real success in free agency this year. And so that's a good one that's a good place to start. Pickens was a good stroke. And certainly we think Williams was a good stroke. We think Clark was
Come on, man. You don't have to say strokes, man. Come on, man.
That's different than free agency, but acquiring top people. These guys, to the person that I just mentioned, they love football and competing the way Michael Irvin did. Each one of the ones I just mentioned are about that. And I'm including Pickens in that very much. As much as we think that he's exceptional as a player, his love of the game and his passion about the game
I'm taking that stroke, though. As a drop.
Nick Harris, our Telegram, along those same lines, Jerry.
Golden material. A good stroke.
Is there a priority for you guys to want to get it done sooner rather than later, or are you
Is a good stroke.
taking the whole offseason?
Yeah, let's, and again, those are the kinds of things. What's sooner, what's later. How bad do you want me? Does that mean that you should have been at the doorstep the other night? I don't want to get in those kinds of assessments of how much we're trying. He's an outstanding player. We don't have some of the issues that we might have had, and we are very proud. When we signed Dak, and a boy, certainly after this year, you see, in my mind, how much that meant to the Dallas Cowboys and our fans to have Dak Prescott out here. But when we signed him, we took on a real direction of doing things that are really friendly to his future with the Cowboys. Right here is a big result of that. Brian was very friendly to the future of Dak Prescott in terms of just the proximity to to Prescott's career. It's important for us to protect him. Now, it's also very important that we alleviate some of the pressure of never having good field position or the type of thing that a balanced offense-defense does for you as far as what it can do for your quarterback. But again, if it's not obvious, I think it's very plain as the nose on your face. Everything we've done is because we made a choice to build and complement what Dak brings to the table. Does it mean that we shouldn't have a backup for Dak in case he's not available? We should, of course. But that's where our emphasis is, and that has dictated, since we made that decision, it's dictated a lot of our decisions around here.
One more, the Dallas Cowboys beat writers are scary clown face. They are letting Jerry stroke all over them. No Diddy Pong.
That you think can maximize that side of the ball?
Well, I'm going to let Brian and Stephen, you guys.
Yeah, Stephen, I want to hear from Stephen now. Let Stephen talk.
I'd like to take a double handful of this guy's qualities right here and say, now that's what we're looking for over on the defensive coordinator. Real passion, real enthusiasm. Great, I'm talking double great ability to communicate with players. I'll start right there. Brian.
Yeah, and what I would say, Nick, is, again, at the end of the day, we've had this conversation a lot. The best coaches, in my opinion, are flexible. So we're not going to pigeonhole ourselves and say, hey, we have to be 3-4, 4 down, whatever it is. I mean,
bro, we went through a whole year with no flexibility.
For Steve Spurrier in the fun and gun, right? Good coaches take their players that they have. They've got an identity. They take their players and they fit their players into the model that fits what they do well. And that's why I go back to what I said earlier. You're looking for a teacher. You're looking for a guy that has the ability to instruct and get guys to believe and get guys to buy in. We're salesmen. When you're up there in front of the players, you're selling them on why what you're doing offensively, defensively, special teams, why it's going to work. And part of that's your personality, part of it's your ability to communicate. But when we cast this wide net to go find the right guy for this job, which we will find, no question about it.
Well, you better find it.
It's going to be the things that Jerry was talking about, but also the flexibility of, hey, we can do different things, because those are the things that, when I talk with Jerry and Steven, those are the things that cause us problems. The flexibility and some of the unknowns and things like that.
We brought on, and Quentin, we brought on with Clark, and I can stop right there because they're there. They're tremendous players to build around from the ethos of the team.
The ethos. The word of the day is ethos, baby.
You want dogs.
Was it ethos? Which one is it?
You want people that know what a meeting means. You want people that know how to lead, those kinds of things.
Did he say you want dogs?
I'm encouraged about that. We've got some great leadership about football and the little things that are required to go do that. That's very important, rather than wearing a hoodie at practice.
Come on, man.
That's important. It's big stuff.
Yeah, the only other thing I would add is just that, when we're looking for this guy, we obviously have, we think, some really
wearing a
key
hoodie.
pieces in place. And so you want this guy to have a vision for how he's going to use Q, how he's going to use Kenny, because we've made big commitments there, how he's going to use Osa, obviously easy at the end. You got Overshone at linebacker, you got Bland. You want to see that vision, and then the vision for how fast we can get 2 number 1 picks. I'm not saying we're for sure going to pick defense. If C.D. Lamb's sitting there again, you have to look at it, but we've got to see that vision for where you bring in 2 number 1 picks and get them contributing right away. I think that's going to be really key.
Are they
when
drunk?
We start to talk to these different coaches. What is their vision and how they're going to use those pieces?
But I want to make sure that I'm not misunderstood about one thing. We have got some building blocks over on defense that are serious to having a great defense, and these guys are they have a talent. To be leader, you got to be talented. If you are talented and are a leader,
Where that Hennessy at, man?
somebody
Hey,
that
bring some
influences your
Hennessy.
players inordinately, you got something. Dak Prescott's maybe the best I've ever been around.
What this got to do with
at being
defense,
the
man?
combination of that. If you could sprinkle that through the rest of your roster, you have gained on it, folks. And we've gained on it. That's what I'm trying to say. We've really, from where we were sitting here this time last year, we have made quantum leaps in my mind in the football character of
The
our
ethos, baby.
And one thing I'm going to add to
the word
that
of
is
the-
having
word of
exit
the week.
meetings with those guys. You give Q, you give Kenny an off season. Imagine the influence they're going. They're already having an influence. When I ask the guys, "Hey, who are the leaders in the locker room? Who are the guys of influence?" 4, 95, 97, 92, 0. You give those guys an off season, being around the other players, powerful.
With the right coach.
That was Jerry, you mentioned building blocks and pieces you have on defense. As you've kind of evaluated the roster the last couple of
Yaris,
days,
baby!
Where do you feel like you need to add in free agency or the draft, wherever it may be? What positions do you feel like you need more building blocks in?
Steven, you content?
Yeah, I think obviously linebacker. I mean, as we've mentioned, we love Overshone. I think he's a core piece of the defense, but certainly
Love don't win you
we could
games.
Use some help there at linebacker, and then I think secondary. It's always
At Son of
important
John,
to be able to cover the guys. And,
$2,750
between
fine.
injuries,
Well, Allah, go and find that
between,
photo of Jerry as
Rebel
the
being a
Emperor
little slower
Palpatine.
getting into the mix,
Rolling on the floor
coming off
laughing.
his injury from college.
Appreciate you.
He was obviously a little raw when
I
you
got
first
you.
get out there and you hadn't had a OTA practice or a training camp practice, and so it took him a while. So, I still think though we need help in the back end, and certainly. Obviously Clowney had a great finish to the last half of the season, and I think he's an important guy for us.
Where's
to add,
Willie McClay, man?
his
Bring Willie
to
McClay
add
on.
to the mix.
Tyler Smith told me today that he was going to meet with you about left tackle, left guard. What was that conversation like? And did you come to a decision about where he'll play in the future?
Yeah, it was great. Actually, Tyler and I just had it, Tommy, and I was explaining to him. I said, "Hey, I think you
Had
know,
a who?
We feel that you're an incredible all-decade type guard, but at the end of the day, you're such a good player that at the end of the day, we have to play the 5 best guys, and." In no way, shape, or form do I think that we can't, with a full year of Guyton and Nate Thomas and those guys and getting those guys going. But Sis wants some direction. And I said, right now you're a guard. But at the end of the day, we're going to do what's best for the Dallas Cowboys winning a Super Bowl. And that, just like we did the last 3 games, if we got a movie to tackle, we will. And excuse me.
Get it
what
out.
I love about that is Tyler and I were able to have that conversation. He's like, makes perfect sense. I understand.
By the way, that's why he's a core piece going forward and why we wanted to sign him. I mean, versatility is huge when you can have a player that can be the best guard in the league and also swing out there and play to a Pro Bowl caliber
whatever level.
Toxic Tom
At
said,
tackle,
Willie
we had that
McClay's
player
out there doing the Uber
I think
Eats.
he actually did it. And I think he was all-pro at guard,
Yeah,
swung
he
out one year to tackle, and he made Pro Bowl All-Pro there. So, that's what we think of Tyler. And as Shotty said, he's the
I like
ultimate
Delane,
team guy to
Mansour
boot.
Delane.
Ed Werder, WFAA. Looking long-term at the defense, in 3 of the last 6 years since 2020, you've had historically bad seasons in terms of points allowed under 3 different coordinators. When you look at what the issues are in that regard and what the fixes could be, what do you
Hey,
see?
Tisha, make that photo for Jerry now.
And who are you asking that?
Of Emperor
you.
Palatine, whatever my guy, son of John, was saying.
Thank you, Ed. I'm going to take another drink of water.
That ain't no water in there. That ain't no water in there. That's gin. I know gin when I see it.
One of the principles that I have is I like, as I said earlier, I like people who have had some hard times. In general, I'm a sucker for hard times.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, man, I fell down on my luck, Jerry.
I see them
for 30 years.
Skill and with the experience, and if given a chance to really excel, then they know the leg off the
Let
chair.
me know, son of John,
to come do it. And that's really, if you look at it, you'll see that pattern in these hires. And I don't know that we deliberately had that written down, but certainly the ability to come back and get it on. And we've got to widen that dimension, dismiss it, whatever you want to.
Dementia,
and,
you got that, Jerry?
That criteria do it. I can tell you right now that there's a lot of reasons why that coming up off the mat is harder to do because you've had the wind knocked out of you.
Appreciate you, Brandon.
You might not have the confidence.
Three Stooges.
Might not have some of those things, and I'm talking now generally here. But coming up off the mat, they should be heroes on coming off the mat. Boone Pickens was my greatest hero, and he got knocked down, knocked out when he was about 80, and he came back dead broke. Had to fight over the China when a divorce, and fought over the China, and then turn around and 5 years later, he picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille, and was a billionaire again. And he was so depressed during that time that he had to lift his leg out of the bed to get out of bed. He didn't feel like going.
So Jerry's the modern day Boone Pickens.
And I said the same thing before the National Coaches Association when he was being honored. That here's a guy that knows how to get knocked down and come up. And if you can do it when you're 80 and get there by the time you're 85, you sure as hell ought to be able to do it when you're 20, coming back up when you're 25. So those are the kinds of things that were in my thinking relative to the past. And so that's
Son of
why
John,
that you see
$2,750
somebody
fine.
wrote in here the
Number
profile
2 is closed,
where we are.
but you got
So
the
without dwelling
electricity
on
coming
it,
from his
we're
fingers.
not going to follow
Rolling
necessarily
on the floor
that
laughing.
as a criteria profile. We're going to develop
Okay, I got
another
you.
good reason to be involved. But I don't mind telling you, it has skewed my decision making.
When you look at what happened with McCarthy's first year, you replaced Mike Nolan, you hired Dan Quinn, you dedicated a draft that year to improving on defense. I think your first 6 picks, maybe 8, were all for the draft of defensive players. Do you envision that being a plan you could follow and create the same kind of dramatic turnaround in a single offseason?
Well, I'll be very candid with you. I'm not so sure. You know what we think of Dan Quinn, and we really admire everything that we had with Dan.
At JDiz $5.
But we didn't
Listen,
get where
Cowboys
we want
fans
to get.
keep burying the Jones
Not because
family.
of Dan.
Jerry selling hoodie
but
nonsense
we weren't,
and
we
Catboy
couldn't stop the
counting
run
curses and Shotty shucking
when it
and
got down to
jiving
that
man
cut.
shrugging dark skin tone.
And so there's some aspects
Hey,
of that. Those
Tisha.
turnovers we had
Add
with Dan, my goodness,
electricity.
put me in line. I'll stand up out there for that every time. And they cover up, a lot of things about cooking.
Both photos.
If you make it so hot that it burns the roof of their mouth, and you make it so cold
Son of
that
John,
it's
is
like
this
hot ice, it'll cover up a lot of the frailties of your talent on cooking. And so you can put some pretty good stuff out there. Well, those principles haven't necessarily worked for us. That doesn't mean that we won't have an ex-head coach in here at all. But it won't be the emphasis, at least on my part.
Appreciate you.
To today
JD
and what we're dealing with defenses today. But I have had a lot of luck, whatever you. I've had a lot of good decisions
Candid,
made based
he didn't say
on
trite
taking
yet.
people that, for whatever the reason, are out of the step right then, and giving them another opportunity when they have had accomplishment in their background, both in football and out of football.
Joe.
Joe Hoyt, Dallas Morning News. Jerry, you talked a lot about continuity being an edge, obviously, fourth defensive
Appreciate
coordinator
you, son.
in 4 years. How vital is not only getting a defensive coordinator that's successful this year, but that can stick around?
They talking about everything but a defensive coordinator.
We had a discussion just right before we came down here. And what is continuity?
30 years, 30
has
seasons.
been here 4 years and got all rookies. Those haven't been here but months. So where's the continuity? Is the coach got the continuity because he's talking to a lot of different players? In other words, those players don't necessarily match up with the continuity of a tenure of a coach at all. And how do you match that up? I would say this: be a little careful about building a defense around a certain experience aspect to it. Be careful about having key cornerstones out there, when availability will probably wipe that out for you one or two different times, where you may have as many as 2 or 3 missing at any time in a 17-game schedule.
What is he talking about?
As old Barry Switzer used to say,
Barry
we're
Switzer?
going to start over here in the East, going to California. These covered wagons, I'm the wagon master.
You quoting Barry Switzer?
We're going to burn some of them for firewood. Some's going to die along the way. And we're going to break them down, float the Mississippi River with them.
Shout out
and we're going to
Mississippi.
have a lot born on the way. This will not be the same group, but the train's going to get there. I just hope you're on it, because I'm going to be on it when it goes. So the whole point is, there's a little bit of that in football. What you get started with is not what you end up with. What we're talking about is you got to have somebody that can roll with the punch and put a theory out there that you can bring in rookies, and you can bring in somebody that you've picked up during the season.
The wagon
how about
master.
Guys you pick up the week before. We've had teams
Hoodies
in the NFL playing with
and
those
stroking.
guys. Diggs did it up at Green Bay. You got to be ready to go with that kind of stuff, and that may be a bigger adaptability issue, or maybe a bigger plus to what you're dealing with as a coordinator than maybe the fact that you've been through hard times and won a Super Bowl, but want to show it again.
Steven, today you guys could do interview requests for non-playoff team staff members. Have you guys made any requests, and do you have a working timeline with what you want to do for this hire at defensive coordinator?
We haven't made any requests yet. Obviously, when we get ready to do that, we'll make those and, go through the proper channels, to communicate with these people. And but we're still making the decisions on who we want to bring in here for interviews.
Do you have a working time, though?
Yeah,
You be
I think
on
this
it.
week, as this
Y'all-
week
y'all move
goes
too slow.
along, we'll probably get to a point where we're sending those request forms in.
Newy.
NBC5, Stephen, question for you. What's your strategy on Javonte Williams, who you got a kind of excellent year for you here, and the way that whole running back market goes, especially considering what it was once we had Ezekiel Elliott, and then just being able to hit on him this time?
Sure. I mean, Javonte's at the top of our list to go out and sign. And we want to bring him back. We want to sign him to a multiple-year deal. And we'll be, Adam and I have been talking about it, about how we want to get started with his agent. It's my understanding he really wants to be back as well, which is helpful. But certainly that's one of our priorities, is to get him re-signed.
Shadi, question for you here. Name somebody mentioned me earlier. You used to coach with the New York Jets, Dennis Thurman. Your thoughts on him, former Cowboy, possibly being here on the staff in some way at all?
Yeah. Again, DT was with us with the Jets. I thought, he's a really good coach, but I think there's a ton of great coaches out there, and what I love is our ability to talk through and have discussions about different guys. And again, I go back to the fact that we want to cast a very wide net. And
you better not give Javonte Williams a multiple year contract.
It's a decision we're going to get right.
You better not do that.
Because we understand that there's going to be guys that want this job. Why? Well, we've got some incredible pieces in place. Jerry just talked about them. Quentin Williams, Kenny Clark.
I like Javonte Williams, though, by the way.
Talented young players like Vaughn, Shamar James. And so, again, I think it's an exciting time for us because we feel like going through the process, it could be tedious. It could be a lot of long hours, but that's what we love.
You're going to give Javonte Williams a $34 million contract.
Right.
The teaching.
DT's a very, very, very good communicator. Always has been. I was actually with DT in New York and at USC.
We really all are aware, everybody in here aware that we want to, and if we could have played some better defense this year, we might still be playing. We all are aware of that. But I want you to know this is not even close to being on par if we were sitting here looking at having made a head coach change. This isn't even in the same stratosphere as far as the challenge. We're going to find a good coach. And I'm not trying to diminish it at all. I just want to get it in perspective here. It should be numbers of people that can be good coordinators for us. Now, if we were sitting here talking about like we were last year and about making a change there and what have you, that rascal right there and that decision and where you go there, that's a horse of a different color. But you can't be in this business in the NFL and not be planning on either with failure or success changing defense and offense coordinators. You can't be. It's part of it.
Patrick.
If it was Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. Two questions, both of the questions is for the panel in general. When you talk about the look for the defensive coordinator, Jerry, you said you guys are not adverse to someone who's not been a coordinator prior. On the back end of the season, after that 3-game surge following the Quentin Williams trade, when the defense kind of started to unravel, was there ever consideration to move on from Matt Eberflus at that time and maybe elevate someone like an Aaron White-Cotton so you could, give him a real-time interview to see if he had what you guys would be looking for in that role going forward?
Yeah, I think, we at that time felt very strong that Flus is a damn good football coach and that we were going to work together, all of us. It's not just Matt Eberflus, okay? My name is on this record as well, and I take the accountability of that, right? I'm the head football coach, but Flus, the defensive staff.
Well, you should get fired with him then.
For examples, and we've talked about this. We came out of a tough stretch. We won 3 games in a row. We put ourselves really in a very good spot to be in contention for the playoffs, and we didn't finish. And,
you beat the Raiders,
so the
Eagles, Chiefs.
No. We were playing every week to win, and I think that's what we're learning and trying to do because of the high goals that we have here to want to be a championship football team.
Following up that really
Randy
quickly,
said,
changing gears.
Murray always in the area making plays.
Potentially another coordinator change. When you guys look at your special teams unit, it was the best in the league over the past couple of seasons or more. Took a huge step back in a lot of different categories. I know you said you guys going to do evaluation with Nick Sorensen and whatnot. Whether you choose to move on from Sorensen or not, what do you guys feel is the biggest thing that needs to happen to make sure that you guys' special teams unit gets back to where it was?
Yeah, it's funny, Patrick, because Jerry and I actually, with Steven, we talked about this last year. We have to figure out a way to not have penalties. The penalties on special teams, I think we were 31st in the league. And whether people are seeing the star on their helmet and they think we hold, but, we have to be cleaner because Jerry talked about the field position. We're explosive offense and things like that, but we have to be cleaner with our hands. We have to make better decisions, full speed. I think, we're figuring out that the bigger bodies. I'll speak to Brevin Spahn-Ford. I mean, here's a guy who hasn't played any special teams. He was dominant.
Oh, it is Spahn.
So,
which one is it?
Again, it's year one. And, again, great exit interview with Terp. There's things that Terp feels like, hey, I can do better with this and all that. So as we go through the process, again, I think you'll see us make adjustments because the standard is the standard, and it was not high enough in that phase either.
He's we like Sorensen. Obviously, he doesn't have said.
You like Sorensen?
But I was part of the question, and we do like Sorensen.
How?
On the other hand, he's got a problem with the owner. That was my forte. And I know that if you want it bad enough, you can play special teams. If you damn sure got enough talent to be on defense or offense, you can play special teams. And I know you can play without getting penalties. I know that. And so we've got some work to do, but that ought to be one area, as Coach said, that ought to be one area that you can get better in if those are your problems.
Jonah.
Jonah Javad, WFAA. Two questions. First with Shadi. Jim Leonard, you guys overlapped a little bit in New York. Just curious, what your relationship is like, and do you guys still have any familiarity? I know the NFL's kind of, a bit of a fraternity, but
yeah, I mean, I saw Jim before we played Denver. Jim's a heck of a football coach. You talk about just a great football player, man. We had some great years together in New York, and again, I would not say we've stayed in touch. This business is hard, right? You get going a million miles, but you got to speak to what Sean and that entire staff has done there. And Vance Joseph, obviously a guy a ton of respect for. So Jim's an excellent coach, and I think they had a heck of a year.
Bit of a hard pivot, Jerry. Question for you. You mentioned at the start of this press conference how the Micah Parsons trade allows you to sign George Pickens, or at least put you in a position to sign George Pickens long term. But somebody asked earlier what the plan is there. If that trade happens, which it did, if you don't sign George Pickens, then is it a failure?
If the trade doesn't happen,
you traded Micah Parsons, you put yourself
get
in a better
him.
position
Whoever that is, go get him.
George Pickens.
yes, I follow that.
Are you going to sign George Pickens long term?
Again, it put us in the position to have the flexibility. Had we not had the room let me be real clear. Had we not had the room that we now have because of the Parsons trade, there was no flexibility and not even an option to sign George Pickens. So I can be emphatic. Now, whether we sign him or not, if that's your question, whether we sign him or not, if one thing the explanation shows you is how much you have to keep your mind on where you are under the cap, because it will get you inflexible. And so to the answer to your question, when we make a decision around here, we have to decide exactly, do we have the room, and what does it do to your flexibility under the cap going forward? You have to do that every time.
I think the other thing I would add too.
Go save your daddy.
Third-round pick to have a chance to have a top number 2 receiver, which we were hoping to get in the draft maybe, but didn't. And the thought process is when you give a 3, and let's say we couldn't have signed him back, then yes, it'd still have been a success because we'd have had a great year this year, and you would get a third-round pick probably back from a compensatory standpoint. So that was our thought process on
that
signing a guy with 1 year
compensatory
left
pick process and
for
thinking.
a third-round pick. No one, and it happens around the league. We're not the only one.
Nah, bullshit. Y'all the only one that planned it.
But then you get your third back when he signs somewhere else for a lot of money. If we couldn't have signed him.
Yeah. Had I
or
known,
franchise.
to a crystal ball that Pickens was going to have the year he's had, then it wouldn't have been so late in the time that you'd heard about a trade. Had I known he was going to have that kind of year. Because I can't say it enough factually. If we don't have that, we have no flexibility to do things like that going forward. It had everything to do with the trade.
Jeff, Fox for Stephen, for you. Think about what you're able to do here right now, sitting next to your dad and answering these questions. We saw in the final episode of the Netflix series, you got emotional and asked about the succession plan and said you want to win a Super Bowl with Dad soon. Why does it mean so much to you to be able to specifically end the Super Bowl drought with your dad?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we want to get done. I mean, I know whether it's his gold jacket all the things he's accomplished from the value of this franchise, I think he'd give a lot of that up for one more Super Bowl. And it's not just me. It's my brother, it's my sister, it's Shotty, it's Will. Everybody in this organization wants to get the job done. And obviously winning a Super Bowl when you're in sports of any kind, whatever sport it is, whatever level it is, to win a championship is the ultimate prize in terms of what you're shooting for. Over the finances, over the individual accolades, everything should be about, winning a championship. My son did it in high school. It was the ultimate. Whenever a college team wins a championship, I mean, it's you never forget it. I mean, Jerry said he lives with that national championship to this day. They can't ever take it away from you. And certainly what we want to do is get one more for sure.
Well, now, I don't mind telling you I'm a little uncomfortable with the little way this conversation's rolling around here. But having said that, and since we know that being uncomfortable is not your right either, you can be uncomfortable and go do it. My goal in life is to retire as the owner that won the most Super Bowls. That's my goal. To be retired in the NFL as the owner that won the most Super Bowls. We've got 3. How many more do I have to go as a single owner? Bob's got how many?
Bob got 6. Bob got 6. So
I've got
work. You done?
Got work to do.
Hell yeah!
Work to do, but at least I'm up to the second rung in the ladder. But my goal is to have retired and won the most Super Bowl as an owner.
Well, you ain't catching that one unless you just step down.
Would you ever actually retire?
Well, I'm gonna. I will go down. No, I'm not going to say that. If, I'm not going to say.
He's a 10-toe high guy.
I'm not going to say that at all. But listen, I don't want to.
Bob Kraft might win another one this year.
Okay, around here. But seriously, guys, I'm going to have to say this to everybody in this room. I hope y'all, I don't know what your ages are, but I hope, let's just say Steven's age, if he has as much fun between where he is today and where I am today in age, if he has as much fun as the guy sitting here beside him, he's in for a hell of a ride and a hell of a life. I've had my most fun in the last 21 years.
We haven't had this fun.
Obviously, everybody likes to dream. And I promise you, high and hard on my dream list, way ahead of making a buck, okay? Because I don't need a buck. Way ahead of that is to go down as the owner that won the most Super Bowls.
Well, you got to win 4 in a row.
Jerry, Stephen,
somebody do the math for Jerry.
Your direct negotiations with Micah. How do you plan to approach with George? Do you plan to talk to him directly, change the approach, and talk to David Mulligetta, or how do you plan to approach Pickens' negotiations this year?
Well, I don't even think about it because I don't buy into or agree with the characterization of the negotiation you're referring to by anybody. And I don't agree. And I know they don't know because they can't get inside my head, for one. So, but I will tell you the characterizations of a lot of the way that I handle the Micah Parsons negotiation is so backwards from where it actually came down. It's unbelievable. And they certainly didn't realize ever that there was always, from the get-go, a concern about going forward with that much invested, with all the things you have to think about, availability, allocation of that much money. By the way, everybody in this business has to think about how much allocation. And when you allocate, you better start thinking about availability too, because that's a big criteria there on, are they going to be on the field to basically get what you got? That's a big deal. And so some places it's unavoidable at quarterback. It's unavoidable there. But other places, you've got some choices, and it's either or. So that was the driver and always was the driver. And Micah, I really do think a lot of Micah, and he's brilliant in a lot of different ways. So, and wish him the greatest success you've ever seen, and don't even think the least if he has a condescending remark or interprets my remarks as condescending. That's just not the way that I interpret this situation at all.
Man, come on,
what
man.
I am going to say
Micah
is
gone, man. You got to stop. You got to leave. Let it low. Let it go.
I am proud of that, and I know he's happy where he is.
So with George,
Stop bringing him up, man.
Approach those negotiations this time around in terms of direct contact versus the agent.
Yeah, so much of that has to do with option quarterbacking, reading the move as you take the next step. And so I wouldn't dare try to say I'll do anything relative to a business negotiation or, in this case, contract negotiation. I wouldn't dare make a comparison between any contract on a goal, because it's human reaction, it's human situations, and so there won't be any comparison. Gosh, you guys know me pretty well in here. I can be as whatever you want me to be. And I can be sweet, or I can be the other way too.
Can you be the guy to step down?
Kyle Youngman's Cowboys TV. Steven, looking ahead at the draft a little bit, when you have production so different on the offensive side versus the defensive side this past season, does that change the way you evaluate certain prospects when you're putting together your draft board as a group and as a front office?
No. I think that's where you make your biggest mistakes. I mean, we were planning on taking a defensive player when we picked C.D. Lamb. You got to put the board up true. It's got to be quality of player, one after the other. And then when it's your turn to pick, you got to weigh. Now, if there's a guy we really need versus a guy who's sitting in there really close, then we reserve the right to make that decision. Although the offensive guy may be a little higher, we might still go with the defensive guy, but you certainly don't want to reach, just to scratch an itch, if you will, to do that. So we'll put our board up like we always do, and then now, you also got to weed through some of that, because whether it's your coaches, whether it's your scouts, everybody knows, and you tend to try to find more good in some of the things that you might need, whether it's a pass rusher, whether it's a corner, a linebacker. You want to make sure you're not looking too hard to find all his good qualities and overlook maybe some of the things that could hurt him. So we're aware of that as well.
First time you're picking twice in the first round in quite some time as well. How does that change the way that Will McClay and his individuals under him are going to put together that board and continue to look toward the prospects?
It shouldn't affect the way we put up our board, the fact that we have 2 1s. I think we'll put it up the way we've always done it. We always look to get better every year. We
Telegraph what your plan's going to be. Come on.
Sit with Will.
Give me all the
sits with
answers.
all the scouts, and, where can we be better? Where should we be spending more time? Obviously, the landscape of college football has changed that, where you spend your time, because, all the good players that are on
$5
that are on smaller
Tylenol
school teams
take this headache
find their
away.
way this
My
day
God,
and
why
time
you
in
stuck us
NIL
with this clown
up
face
to the
family
good
as owners
teams
of this
pretty
team?
quickly. So you
What
don't
did we
find
do
those
wrong?
guys as much as you used to,
I
like
got
a
you,
Rebel
man.
in a small school, because they get found by the Power 5 guys and they bring them up. So, one of the things we've talked about, let's focus,
I got y'all.
Even more so on the Power 5 schools, because that's really where, a lot of the top players are in those schools.
Sounds some soft soul.
Let me add to this what he said. The board does not pick the player at all. The board gives you the greatest way for that we can evaluate the player with a lot of people's input. Now, that's not to say that Will McClay isn't involved in picking a player, but that's apart from the board. That's apart from running scouts. That's apart from doing all of that. The picking of the player is involved in coaches' input and all those. So I want to be real clear there that your head of scouting does not pick the player. That is a process. Let me say this. Because the stakes are so high, and because if you have players that are going to receive big percentages of the total payroll,
that I've always.
What does this guy do with the defensive coordinator, man?
A little.
Y'all need to stop talking, man. Let's get to the interview.
I've always been a little tolerance of character flaws, off the field issues, or
Jerry done pledged
like
alpha over here, man. Come on, man.
Today, old Jerry's thought
What's colder than cold? Ice cold,
to
baby.
step up there and pick that. You can't do that anymore if you're going to invest 10% or 15% of all your resources, because you will get hurt. And so that has changed, really changed in terms of how you pick players, the character look at them, and what have you. And it's also, you don't want to be buying, I used this recently, you don't want to get a jet plane to just fly from downtown Dallas to the Star. That's an overkill. And so you have to decide there's some great players, but they just aren't quite as needed to get the job done as maybe two that are lesser but better players to get the job done. So you can have overkill. That has changed over the last several years, and that's some of the impact of dealing with the cap with it. And we know firsthand, because we have to spend a lot of time at the league level going over the consequences of what happens to teams that really get in underwater real bad with the cap.
Mac, in the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, Brian, two questions, one for Brian, one for Jerry. Brian, you've had the job now for about a year. Knowing what you know now and having gone through a full calendar, what do you think you'll do different to hopefully, for your own sake, to be a better head coach?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of things. I think experience is the greatest teacher in all, if you're willing to go back and reflect, which, again, I'm beginning the process. As you guys know, you go through different phases, right? You get hired, and then you get ready for, free agency, and then the draft, and then the players come back. And then, once you get out to training camp, it's full steam ahead. Now is the time to take a deep breath, go back and reflect, but there will be a number of changes. And, again, I like talking to the players. I like talking to the coaches while it's fresh in their mind, and we cover everything. We cover the way we practice, the meeting time, and how much time we have in between practice, and the way we travel, and how many days we do pads, and what Friday looks like, and all those things. And what I love about this group of young men is the one thing I think we've taught them that they've learned this year is it's okay to have hard conversations. I had a number of players, say things that, hey, Shotty, I think you could do this better. And I thanked them. I said, I appreciate that, because if they're not going to share that information with me, then how am I supposed to know? Or if there's an issue I have to deal with, they have to share that with me. And I think that's why the culture that we've built here is so special. But there will be a number of things. And not one right now jumps off the top of my mind, but probably because there'll be a number of them.
Quick, Jerry. Jerry, what do you say to the fan, the ticket-buying fan, the fan who spends hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars supporting the team, who are really fatigued by the team's lack of postseason success? And listen, damn it, Jerry, this is your fault. I want more. What do you say to that group of people about improving the state of basically postseason
Talking to the mic, man.
Well, first of all, I'm talking to the fan, and you are saying, Jerry, I want more. And I have lived a life of having people say, Jerry, I want more. I expect that. Jerry wants more, to be talking to third person, which I don't want to do. But I know we want more. I want more.
I need more. I don't want it. I need it.
My point to you is that I feel, whether you or others would disagree, our best way to get more is to do what we're going to be doing over the next few days. Last year, I thought the best way to get more, and it was a consensus, was to have Brian come on and be the head coach. I thought that was a better way for us to get more. I happen to know, because I've been in this NFL for this many years,
I happen to know that you don't always get more. And sometimes you get some real shockers as time has gone along. I want our fans to know how important this is to me. I want our fans to know that I lay awake at night looking for an edge. I want them to know that, contrary to popular belief, the financial rewards.
Hey, that cloud on beat, though. Y'all hear that cloud on beat?
As a football team or what have you is not an issue at all here. Not an issue at all. I would give his reference, it wasn't when I did the very foolish thing of buying the team to begin with, which was very foolish financially to buy the food. Not a smart move at all. Now, wonderful things have happened, and I've been riding along to get the benefit of a lot of those wonderful things. But I have, I'm driven from my case to do as good a job as I can. Stephen has huge influence on me. Shotty has tremendous influence on me. Others have a lot of influence. I'm beyond ego. Don't need another award. I want to win the football game. That felt so good to win that game against Washington that I wanted to play this game like it was the Super Bowl out here against the Giants. But that's the way I want to play it. A win is a big deal. A win is a big deal. Do we need to be strategic? Does it help to have, we lost Sunday, does it help to have these draft picks that we're going to have these extra power in the draft? Yes. That's sensible. I'm beyond being sensible relative to that. So that's all I've got to say is I'm on the incentive plan more than I've ever been. If I took a vote, I know about where it would be. But when's the last time you read somebody that was making decisions that if you took a vote, they wouldn't get to make that decision, but they don't vote? And so I'm not being any way other than that's what I do. That's why I'm here. And that's why we are doing everything we can to figure out to make a Super Bowl. These guys will tell you that I will change my mind on a dime. On a dime, if they come in with a better idea and a better suggestion that got enough influence to, with their logic to take advantage of it. I want them to be sure that they've thought about it as much as I think about it. And they do. But I don't want anybody just with ideas or holding their finger up in the air. I want some real meat on the bone when they come in, and we do it differently. So that's the way it is. Body of work, where it is. I can tell you, I look back when we started. We did it exactly the same way from the first day I've ever walked through the door, and there's never been a difference in the way we do it than the way we're doing right there. So whatever the good's been, the good's there. Whatever the bad's been, the bad's there.
Last one, Kevin.
Yes, last one.
Kevin Sherrington, Dallas Morning. Stephen, you talked about Javonte Williams and George Pickens being priorities to re-sign, but you already have made a significant investment in the offense. That's a lot of your salary cap, and then also invested in those 3 defensive tackles. How are you going to have enough money left to fix what's the matter with the defense?
Yeah, we have to be efficient. It starts, as we've talked about, with the draft. I think someone mentioned we had a draft 1 year where we
building through the draft.
The first 6, 7 picks were defensive players, and obviously that's a route to go as well. But we will also be able to look at guys. A priority's Clowney. A priority's, if we see the right deal, which
we owe
is
$40 million.
how we've been in free agency, especially as you've mentioned, we've got a lot of big money tied up in 7 or 8 players. But part of making a great football team is having the complementary pieces as well. And I think that's where we struggled some this year. Our complementary pieces, weren't as good as we might need. And whether that was because we weren't getting them in the right position, from a strategic standpoint, or whether it's just lack of skill. I mean, all those are things that we're going to evaluate. Obviously, that's why we're in the market for a defensive coordinator right now. That's part of it.
And second question, last 15 drafts, you drafted a lot of players on offense who made Pro Bowls, made a lot of Pro Bowls, 46 I think it is, 42, but far fewer on the defensive side have made Pro Bowls. I wondered if that is a concern of y'all and why you think that has happened over the years that there's been so much better drafting offensive players in the last 15 years than you have defensive.
Yeah, I don't know that I can put a finger on why. It's certainly something we want to change, starting with this draft.
I need to be the audio
We want to go
guy.
out there and find really good football players like Osa, like Overshone, guys like that, like a Bland. We've got to be better, and we've just got to see what our vision is. We've got to start by getting, our defensive coordinator and what our vision is for how we're going to play defense, and then we've got to meld that vision with how we select talent to play in that scheme. And that'll be real important as well, is that we all, whether it's Jerry, whether it's myself, Coach Schottenheimer, the defensive coordinator, the scouting staff, the guys who are on the road, got to have a vision for what we're looking for, so that when we put those guys in there, they can have success.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, guys.
All right, that was the end of the presser there. If you're still alive, put 4 in the chat, man. Lord have mercy. Overall, my thoughts initially with the presser, I didn't get nothing out of it. I waited all day or all this morning. I didn't get nothing out of it. I didn't get nothing out of it. Outside, well, I'm lying to y'all. I did get some drops, boy. Oh, the stroking drop's going to be nice. Ooh, I'll be stroking, All right, so let me clarification for the nation. My God honest truth about Javonte Williams. I like what he did this past season. I'm not putting that against him. But what I don't want the Cowboys to do is to say, hey, let's give this man, let's throw the sink, the whole entire kitchen, the furniture set, all at Javonte Williams. Granted, I like what he was able to do for $3 million. That was a good thing. But what we can't sit around here and do and give this man a $15 to $20 million APY contract. I'm just saying, what you should do ultimately is look at Javonte Williams, love what he did with a Costco sample size for this season, but try to marry him up with someone else so that we can really propel ourselves into better directions. Let's not get emotional with this. Granted, I love the storyline. He's still young, but let's not go crazy with it. And that's my thoughts. With running backs, they come a dime a dozen. But what I'm saying is that I'm not dismissing Javonte Williams. I get it. We have a big fan for Javonte Williams. I get all of that. So, and I'm not taking any aim at Javonte because I know we love what he's able to do. But let's not get carried away with this, all right? If you want to give him right around with what Derrick Henry got paid, hey, I would love that. But what you should do is ultimately find a running mate with him. I get the Javonte Jadon Blues last game of the season run and all of this. I get all of that. I like what Malik Davis is able to do. But let's not get carried away with this. Just like the spectacular year that Saquon Barkley had the year before, look at him this year. Running backs can literally hit the wall real quickly, and people don't know what's going on, right? So that's just for what that is. Now, when I peek behind the curtains here, we're going to have to also get ultra busy as it relates to moving money around because over the cap, and I know that their data sheets are a little bit off. They're not exactly where we are at, far as or where the corporate office is at, or where the Cowboys, they don't have the real raw number. So they're about a week or 2 weeks off from what analysts told us about using over the cap and spot rack or sport rack, however you want to call it. So right now, they got us at $40 million in the hole. Like we operating in the red. So in order to get out of this, we should see some money being moved around. We should be seeing the Bland contract being moved around. We should be seeing Tyler Smith contract being moved around. And the biggest, fattest of the cow as far as moving around of money will be Dak Prescott. So you can clearly get out of the $40 million in a hole that you are in real quickly just by restructuring and moving money around. Now, they tried to save ground and grace because they said, and they used this. They used this against us. They used this against us. They said that it wouldn't be a possibility to re-sign George Pickens if they didn't do the thing that they did with, dare I say, Michael Parsons. And they spent about 15 to 20 minutes talking about Michael Parsons, And that's the squeeze they got away. Because just like anything, I'm going to use Mike McCarthy word, if you hitting something and it's good, you keep talking about it. If you hit something that was bad, you kind of like not tell a story about it, right? Oops, I'm talking out loud. They continue to talk about Michael Parsons. That must was a good hit. That must was a good hit. They keep talking about it. Ooh, man, I used to do this and that about this and that. No, Michael Parsons is gone. The man is in Green Bay. They going to the postseason, even though he ain't playing. So now what you said, we're going to hold you against that. You said, Stephen Jones, that you now have the ability to sign George Pickens. And y'all try to cover it up and moonwalk back a little bit at the end. No, you said that you had the ability to sign George Pickens because there were no issues with the Michael Parsons. There's no issues now with Michael Parsons because that $40 million deal is off the table. And you for damn sure ain't paying George Pickens $40 million. He's not worth that much. And I'm not trying to put value on anybody. But what I'm saying is, Steel Glaze and Parsons is crazy, ain't it? The grind for your mind, man. You know what I'm saying? So the Cowboys, McCarthy be hitting them donuts. So what I'm saying is get the deal done early. I don't want to hear about we don't have the money in the remunerations. And then Stephen Jones tried to cover it up a little bit by talking about the fact that, quote unquote, that we got to take care of these financial responsibilities before we get into the free agency. Look, at the end of the day, the teams that's in the postseason now, they roll their sleeves up around this time. They didn't wait. They rolled their sleeves up, and they were ready to make the necessary moves during the offseason so that they can be ready. One of the teams, we even helped them out, called the Panthers, right? We gave them Rico, basically, technically. We gave them a 3rd or 4th round draft pick for their scraps, Mingo. They utilized those picks and those movements to help elevate their team. They was on the outside looking in last season. They was the laughing stock of the league. What a difference a year make. Steven will be a post-June 1 first cut. This is from Chanel. Appreciate you. Look, better get things moving. Yeah, and that's just the reality. Now, the other part of the equation is that Jerry Jones said that he wants to be, and now everybody needs to set their goals and put it out there, which is cool. That's a good one. SARS says pay Pickens before Puka get his bag. Whatever Puka get in them, Puka been more consistent than George Pickens. Puka right now is a better wide receiver than Pickens. And I'm not beating up Pickens, by the way, because he's more consistent. So it'll be hard pressing. I get it. Puka being around better systems, been around a better quarterback, what have you. And I'm not talking about just this year. I'm talking about collectively speaking. You are right, Sarge. You are right. Because the driving rate is going to go up. And who's Puka and them agent too, by the way? Yeah. And is Pickens overall better than Puka? Yeah, but far as stats and what you go off of, because you don't pay off of potentials. You pay off of what you recently done and what you did this season. And your last tape is your known tape, right? So people going to look at those type of things. Puka better than Lamb. This is from Lustrio. Jose, how you say your name? Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. I don't think that he's better, but he is in a situation that he's playing this week Well, this coming week, and we're not. We're watching. Steele and Wilson, Murray needs to be gone, Law, and I mean, whatever that is. Puka is a dog, man. Yeah, 71. Puka is a dog. I can't wait till they get y'all real names up there, y'all nicknames, because y'all real names be throwing me off. Yes, I would say this though. If I had a choice or an option, Puka or Lamb, I'll still take Lamb over Puka now. But if I had an option with combinations of Lamb, Puka, or Lamb, Pickens, and now I'm having a hard fight now. You know what I'm saying? I think that Puka brings you a little dog mentality. I do like his skill set and his aggression. Can't lie, Pickens might be him. This is first year with a real quarterback, though. Grind for your mind. But I'm not finna pay him like Megatron. I'm not finna pay him like the veteran version of Dez. I'm not finna pay him like what CeeDee Lamb just got. Not all for 1 year. So what I would tell, what I would say to, let me see, I'm going to Sport Rack. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I got to pull it up with facts with y'all, because y'all be on me, man. Hold on. Here we go. This is what I would do. And Trayvon Smith is George Pickens' agent. I bumped into him, too, by the way. He's a real smooth, cool, calm, and collected brother, too, by the way. It's not David Mulugheta. But David Mulugheta is with Athletes First, and they all under that same umbrella. But people keep mentioning David Mulugheta. But that's a whole nother story of a different day. All right, so if I'm him, and if I'm looking at where are these stats at, boom. He had 800 yards his rookie year, 11 and some change his sophomore year, 900 yards his third season, and his fourth season, 1,400 yards, right? 4 fumbles, though. Hey, man, come on, man. And he had 9 tubs. Should have had anywhere between 12 and 13 touchdowns if they wasn't being so politically with this situation. What I'm about to say here is that when you look at his market value, they got him right at 30.6 for a 4-year, $122 million deal. They are putting him in the realms, and this is exactly where I see him at, too, by the way. Jalen Waddle, DK Metcalf, Brandon Ayuk, Garrett Wilson. What they do is they compile the age of these guys, productivity, and what I'm saying is if you give him a 3-year contract, that's where I arrange it at, and say, hey, in 3 years from now, hell, you be 27, you'll be right back at the market. Instead of trying to squeeze everything now, take this 3-year contract. You'll be 27 when the contract is up. You'll still be in your prime, and you can get more and more money and put some incentives on that contract. I would give him, and of course, this contract is dated. I think that these guys be feeling disrespectful if you offer him a $28 million deal. What Jalen Waddle got, right? And I wish somebody disrespect me for $28 million. Lord knows, you know. But what I would do is I would give him anywhere between $31 to $33 million contract deal, because normally you go right above market value. Give him a 3-year deal. Now, if he's a sucker, then you try to offer him to 4. That's where you start the negotiation at, right? But if he's not, and if you want to introduce and get right back into the market, which $30 million, $32, $33 million, that ain't no chump change, man, for a wide receiver that's not even wide receiver 1, that's going to be able to get unbelievable open responsibility for one-on-ones, right? You're not going to be the all-in or in-all be-all or all-in be-all, however you say that. You're not going to be that guy. And still in certain games, you will be that guy. For $32, $33 million, that ain't going to be a hard press right there. Offer that kid a 3 to a 4-year deal and get it done with. But if you play around with your food and play stronghold with this guy and let it fester, and now other people are poking and saying, hey, man, because there's desperate teams out there, ladies and gentlemen. There's a desperate team with unbelievable money that will say, you know what? We would throw Pickens 38, 39, and that's why the salary cap is such a fickle process. Think about it. Chargers got $103 million. They can put out a bid for Pickens that we can't even refuse, right? Well, David Mulugeta and his people can't even refuse. Look at the Rams. We talking about Puka Nacua. They can pay Puka and them and still throw Pickens an unbelievable deal. And you think about it. You put Pickens with Puka and them, and you already know Devontae Adams, he's with the Rams, right? I don't think that he's going to be playing for 3 to 4 more years. The Raiders, look at all of that money that they got, $88 million. The Jets, the Commanders, they really need a wide receiver. 58. Look, the Bengals just paid everybody, mama, uncle, cousin, Tupac, and Biggie climbing up out of the grave. They paid Trey Hendricks $30 million last season just for a one-off. And Burrow's getting paid $250 million, right? T. Higgins getting paid crazy money. Jamar Chase getting crazy money. And look at their money, $58 million. So there are teams. Steelers can get them back. The 49ers, they paid their quarterback $250 million. Brandon Ayuk getting paid big money. Bosa, boy, getting paid crazy money. $37 million. So what I'm trying to say is that, hey, at the end of the day, you can make things happen. And on top of that, the Broncos, man, they still paying Russell Wilson. And they got $36 million in cap. Watch how all of this money can get spreaded around and moved around real quickly when you want to do those things. But the Cowboys, they just don't know how to manage their funds and things of that nature. It's crazy. Now, the Bills need a wide receiver, yes. So all of these teams on the flip side, and the Bills got $5 million they in the hole with too, by the way. All right, so when we look at all of this, these teams, if they really want a known commodity, and if you want to work around and trade around, they got money. Russ out there just existing and making money now. You ain't lying, shoot, because they cut Russell Wilson. They in the playoffs. They got the number 1 seed over there in the AFC, and they don't even have to look back, right? So this is how it goes. Yeah. But somehow now Noodle Orm was always better than Dak at DP. That's crazy. All right, so it's 1 o'clock, man. Appreciate everybody, man, for rocking with us. Let's just pay a quick bill.
Sleeper is the #1 fantasy sports app. It pays to know sports. Pick more or less on top players. Your first pick is on us, so start winning now. Play in Texas, Georgia, Minnesota, and 27 more states. Pick anytime across all sports, pregame or live. Over 10 million players are already on Sleeper. Make your picks count. Score up to 1,000 times your cash. Join today. Get up to $100 credit using the code LAW. Call your shot on Sleeper. Download now.
No doubt. Also with Sleeper, be sure to use promo code LAW. Get $20 added to your initial account from me to you. With that being said, they will match up to $100 on your initial deposit, meaning that they will back you up on everything. Let me see. And I forgot they do the walk-off interviews. That's where all of the secret stuff at. All right, that's where all the secret stuff at. They doing the walk-off interviews. That's a quote from John Machota of what Jerry Jones has said. So give me 1 second here. Let me see if I can get some of this good stuff over here to get things going. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, and give me 1 second. Let me get AI Tisha together so she can read these type of things, these transcripts and stuff, and get things moving. Appreciate y'all, man. How y'all feeling today? What did y'all learn from the presser? Y'all help me out while I'm doing this on the scene, behind the scene thing. All right, AI Tisha, let's get right to it. Boom. We're going to go John Machota walk-off press conference right here. The walk-off is always great. Can you read that to the left side, right below John Machota?
Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. We want to get out here and do better than we did this year. There's the incentive to, dare I say it, bust the budget to try to get something done now. Yes. We'll do some dramatic things. That was a dramatic thing we did, trading Micah Parsons. We didn't do it not to win games. The point is, this calls for some pretty controversial decisions. We're going to keep this thing as good as we can possibly be. Finances are no object. We're going to make it as entertaining as we can and keep it as lively as we can for everybody.
Are you shitting me? Are you shitting me?
All right. Jerry says, we gonna make it entertaining, baby. All right. Shoot.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Man, Parsons then got a whole child and built a whole big house and moved to Wisconsin and got a house in Dallas still, and we still bringing him up. Yeah, the gift they keep giving. But he said he's going to make it very entertaining, and I don't want lip services because we still like an old bag of chips that's left inside of a car with the window cracked. You know what I'm saying? And it's 95 degrees. All I can say is, boy, we are entertained with this, man. Can't wait to see how all of this materialize. What will be the entertaining piece? Because don't play with me. Yeah. Don't piss down my back and say, hey, man, that's just rain, man. No. Let me see what they talking about.
Prominent soccer teams, home of Chivas de Guadalajara.
They talking about soccer. Hold on. We shout out to soccer lovers, man. One of the better sports in this world, right? But at this time, let me see.
List to go out and sign, and we want to bring him back. We want to sign him to a multiple-year deal, and we'll be, Adam and I have been talking about it, about how we want to get started with his agent. It's my understanding he really wants to be back as well, which is helpful, but certainly that's one of our priorities is to get him re-signed. Javante's at the top of our list.
Yeah, and that's Stephen Jones on Javonte Williams. We just went over that. Chanel says, Law, the Rams are the same team that everyone said could not come back from the mortgaging, right? Their future for the Super Bowl. Look at them now. All that cap money proving that the Cowboys can do it. I got to go back and look at the Rams. I forgot about that. Oh, damn, Chanel, you're right. I forgot all about that. I can take what you text out, clip it, screen grab this, put it out there for the world to see, get over thousands and thousands of people to click on it, and the Cowboys still won't change their minds, right? They still think that their way is the best way. Now, I'm not going to beat up Schottenheimer all this offseason. That's not my goal, right? We're going to get our rants out and our frustrations out on him. But the gloves come off, man, after we select our new defensive coordinator. Because one of the things that Jerry Jones said in the opening of this presser is that was Matt Eberflus was Schottenheimer's decision. Even though there could have been a lot of tongue-in-cheek, I could have overheard or underheard him. Y'all let me know. But if that was the case, that Schottenheimer looked around and said, hey, let me get a creative guy on the offensive side out of Clayton Adams. Let me go pull the youth from Connor Riley. Let me make sure that all of these pieces are put together with Ken Dorsey and all of this stuff, their ties with the Gators and all of this. But then let me put the cherry on the top with Matt Eberflus. And by the way, Matt Eberflus got the job before him. How in the hell was that his decision when Matt Eberflus knew that he had the job before before Shotty. See, sometimes the Joneses' timeline be messed up. Now, I know Kane the Conqueror wasn't here, so somebody got to tell us the truth. And that wasn't the Joneses.
He's an outstanding player. We don't have some of the issues that we might have had. And we are very proud of when we signed Dak. And boy, certainly after this year, you see in my mind how much that meant to the Dallas Cowboys and our fans to have Dak Prescott out here. But when we signed him, we took on a real direction of doing things that are really friendly to his future with the Cowboys. Right here is a big result of that. Brian was very friendly to the future of Dak Prescott in terms of just the proximity to to Prescott's career. It's important for us to protect him. Now, it's also very important that we alleviate some of the pressure of never having good field position or the type of thing that a balanced offense-defense does for you as far as what it can do for your quarterback. But again, if it's not obvious, I think it's very plain as the nose on your face. Everything we've done is because we made a choice to build and complement what Dak brings to the table. He's an outstanding player.
Man, that was talking in circles, man. So you hired Brian Schottenheimer for Dak Prescott comfortability, right? From what I'm seeing. Schottenheimer gets the job. The first thing he says is that, yeah, it's an honor to be working here. Dak is still learning. And then he talked about, I'm trying to recall all of the things. It could have been just tongue-in-cheek. Oh, Joe Milton, my guy, he can hit Pluto from here, that type of stuff with his arm. And for the first parts of the week here when I was out there in Oxnard and beyond, there was a third of the Cowboys nation saying, hey, man, Joe Milton about to take Dak Prescott's job because Shotty really liked Joe Milton and all of this stuff. And he said, and everybody was like all of that bull sugar stuff about, hey, this is going to be Joe Milton's team. To this day, we still hear some people talking about Joe Milton. But now that they really see Joe Milton, people are kind of like moonwalking back, not going to point y'all name out. But it is for what it is. So you mean to tell me that Brian Schottenheimer was handpicked for Dak Prescott, right? Well, who handpicked the damn defense then? I need to know, man. I need to figure that out because Shotty made it comfortable for Dak, and Shotty also made it comfortable for the defense to go get Matt Eberflus. I don't know how this timeline is timing, I don't know, man. Can somebody help me out, because a lot of stuff seems very convoluted now.
But if we have an opportunity in free agency, and if we have more than one opportunity, we're going to take advantage of the fact that we're in better shape today to play free agency than we thought we might be. And so we're going to use it. We're not saving it in our back pockets to use where our advantages are. So, yeah, I think so. We definitely are going to take advantage of these two number ones. Don't think that we couldn't do some trading here with those two number ones. And so all of the value that you get out of having these extra picks and having some flexibility under the cap, we're going to take advantage of it. But if we have an opportunity in free agency, and if we have more than one opportunity, we're going to take advantage.
You said we're going to take advantage of it. All right. Let me see.
You are the only participant in the conference.
All right,
all participants are muted.
What a doozers. Appreciate everybody, man, for rocking with me. What we're going to do here is we will circle back. It's 1:20. Let me take a quick break, and we'll be back in about 2-3 hours. Got to go grab me something to eat before I pass the hell out. And we will go into details of what they said. I'm going to go re-listen to this damn interview, and we're going to give our thoughts on everything. Appreciate y'all, man, so much for y'all's support and y'all coming through in the clutches on all of this. And we'll be right back, bro. For real, for real. Shout out to Frenkel and Frenkel Personal Injury Lawyers. But we will be right back, Cowboy Nation. But before I go, just understand the Emperor, Jerry Wayne Jones, has spoken. The Cowboys haven't began the coaching look so far, according to Stephen Jones. I behoove the Cowboys to have a level of sense of urgency. I'm not saying that you got to, but what I'm saying is that you must get your interviews aligned right now. That presser was some stuff that didn't need to happen today. When football winning is first, what should have happened today is that we're pissed off, we're angry about playing this weekend. And we're doing everything in our power to be sure that we bringing in the right defensive coordinator. We're going to eat us some sandwiches, but we on the phone calling. We're going to make sure that by the breath in my body, that I would never have a team that's ranked 32nd, 30th, 28, 29, 25, 22, or whatever on defense. That should be the mindset. Don't give me this tongue-in-cheek stuff and fluff about salary cap, about the right fits and these sorts, because none of that mattered. We wasted an entirety of our midday today listening to these three guys glazing and sucking off and stroking and talking about hoodies and damn wagon masters and all of this stuff. I was like, where the Green Goblins at? You know, the Santa Claus and the leprechauns, because that would have been more fascinating story. We wasted a lot of time this morning. They could have been doing more and more exit interviews. They could have been more and more trying to figure out how to restructure some contracts. But we heard a lot of ums and ums and left everybody astray. We heard Trump today in Venezuela and all of this stuff. So we got to be making sure that the main thing is winning games. But what we just heard today was like a bunch of bullshit. Cowboys. We have unlocked the truth of what Jerry ultimately wants, though, out of all of the bullshit. He said that when I leave this plane, I want to have the most Super Bowl rings as any owner. And then the truth hit him. Bob Kraft got 6 of those things. You only have 3. Your old mentor had 3 of those things. Y'all can put his name down in the bottom. I forgot his name. He was on the Raiders. I think it's Davis or something. If you want those things that Bob Kraft acquired and accumulated, you're going to have to do similar things of what he did. There was no guessing about the times of their defense. There was no guessing about the times of their offense. Now, I would hear some people say, well, hell, that was Tom Brady. What if I told you that even with all of those accolades and stats and stuff like that, is that you got a kind of caliber of quarterback that can give you, and I'm not calling Dak Prescott a damn Tom Brady, but what I'm saying is that collectively, you got some guy that's been here for 10 years, 10 seasons, and his numbers are up there, but stats are for losers. But Dak Prescott versus Drew Brees, first 10 seasons, first 10 careers, first situation. You got 139 games with Dak, 138 with Brees. 83-55-1, Brees 79-58-0. 66.9 completion percentage, 65.2. Passing yards, 35,989, 35,000 to 266. You got more touchdowns, you got less interceptions, and a better passer rating with Dak Prescott. One thing I can tell you for sure, for damn sure, and you can bet it and put your lungs and spleen on the line, you for damn sure didn't have a better coaching situation surrounded with Dak Prescott, by the way. So at some point, this team, if you want to do those things, Jerry, you got to continue to put pieces in places, and I'm especially about defense, because I've seen Drew Brees win that ring. We was all happy for him too, by the way. But if you want those things, you're going to have to take care of those things and those desires. How you do that, Law? Well, let me tell you something. If you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for it, to work day and night, to give up your time and your peace, if all of your desires of it makes you quite mad that you don't get tired, and it makes you hold everything tawdry and cheap, if life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, if you'll gladly go out there and sweat for it, fret for it, or plan for it, and lose all terror of your mind, if you would simply go after the things you want with all of your capacity, strength, and sagacity, with faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold or the poverty or the famish of fame or the sickness of body or brain can turn you away from the things you want, if dogged and grim and besieged and beset with the help of Almighty Cowboys Nation, you will get it. Here's the truth. The Patriots have a better chance of winning 3 more Super Bowls or 4 more Super Bowls than we do right now. Let me tell you something. The Patriots owner right now have a chance in the situation, and I know it's not going to come off smoothly. They are in a better situation than us, Law Nation Sports. Y'all need to know that. This past season, they went and got them a real coach. They went and got them a real infrastructure. They putting things in places around their young quarterback. They had a 14-3 record. They had the 3rd-ranked offense. They have the 11th-ranked defense. And they are rolling in money. Let me see how much money they got. Oh, yeah. Where the Patriots at? Where the Patriots at on this list? I know they're somewhere. They got $44 million. Now watch how they do things, Jerry. I didn't see no press conference. I don't know who the damn general manager is there. They drafted well this past offseason, and they have a situation that they are in a better looks of likes of getting those things done, because they are a serious organization. We got clown music and unicorns and leprechauns around here. we got people that's doing these type of things. Did y'all see how they dismissed the Stephon Diggs situation? If Stephon Diggs played for the Cowboys, there'll be 4,000 reports about it. They compete to win. So for you to open your mouth and to rub your hands, phalanges together, saying that you want to be the best, well, damn it, Jerry Jones, you gotta have to position yourself to achieve the best. God honor those who put forth the time and work and effort. Let me know if I'm lying. Diligently. Do your due diligence. In departing, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls around the globe, let me rewind you because I'm in my moment right now. To put efforts in, labor, and through learning, I want to show you guys and tell you that in order for you to receive those things, you have to study to show yourself approval. It reminds me of a scripture, 2 Timothy 2:15. Says, study to show thyself approval unto the Creator. A workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly divided between the word of truth. Your work should be giving. Here's what I'm thinking of what the Jerry Joneses of the world like to do. They like to talk. They like to say the things of what happened in the past. People fail to realize that Herschel Walker thing happened damn near almost 40 years ago. And you still bringing that up. That wasn't your work. The efforts of 3 Super Bowls that you do have. That wasn't your time rolling up the sleeve in your work. That was somebody else who presented hard time, who presented hard levels of work, who sacrificed a lot of things. So Jerry, you could want something, but how bad do you want it? But most importantly, how bad do you need it? That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's get it.
Swallow that.
Riggs!
I just wanna run it up. Kinda check or something. I've been really in the field, let up, yeah. I've been really in the field, let her rush, I let her feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have to take it to a meal. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Yeah. Kinda check or something. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Count that too, count it up, count it up. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Need them ones, I need them fives, need them tens, I need that change. To the safe, got blues inside. Greens and pinks, it's all the same. I still save and roll my change. Take some losses when I play, charge it to the game. I'm with L, yeah, I'm with T Black, I'm with Reverend now. I'm with Bay, yeah, I'm with J, yeah, I'm with Chuck and now. Still the same, not switching sides, now it's about loyalty. You switch sides off for the bag, and that's worth more to me. I mix Nike with designer, I experiment. You just rock what's on the shelf, and I'm not feeling it. Search for the one, but baby girl, it's nothing real as this. Can't trust a soul, I keep a hammer, call it too legit. I've been really in the field, love the rush, I love the feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have to take it to a meal. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Yeah. Kinda check a song. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Count that too, count it up, count it up, count it up, count it up. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Yeah, I just be off the dome. I never own no chrome. Too many foes and clones. Yeah, I be at home alone. I be in zones alone.
If we offended anyone today, charge it to my beard, not my heart.
Take it to a meal, lately I just wanna run it up. Yeah. Kinda check a song. Lately I just wanna run it up. Count that too, count it up, count it up, count it up, count it up. Lately I just wanna run it up. Lately I just wanna run it up. Lately I just wanna